Caracas, Venezuela. Critics called it "zero hour" for Venezuelan democracy, a tipping point into dictatorship. But after the socialist government here held a widely condemned election on Sunday, the opposition in this teetering South American nation faced an existential question. What next? To the blaring sounds of salsa in the central Plaza Bolivar, President Nicolas Maduro late Sunday lauded the vote, creating a new super Congress made up entirely of government backers, including his wife and son. Turnout, the government claimed, was 41.5%, a figure the opposition called a massive fraud. Opponents described an overwhelming public rejection of the unpopular vote, estimating no more than 12.4% of voters turning out. As early as Tuesday, members of the new Constituent Assembly are set to replace the democratically elected legislators inside this nation's National Assembly building. Some opposition lawmakers defiantly went to the structure on Monday and vowed to keep carrying out their duties. Their move foreshadowed a potentially dramatic standoff. Nothing and nobody will prevent us from fulfilling the mandate that the people have given us, opposition lawmaker Delsa Solorzano said in a video she shot outside the Assembly building Monday morning. That's why an important number of lawmakers came today. To protect our space and to protect the will of the people, Maduro has said. He proposed the new assembly to bring peace after 4 months of often violent demonstrations protesting the collapse of the economy and growing authoritarianism. The body will have extraordinary powers to reshape Venezuela's government and laws. International pressure on Maduro is set to grow, with the Trump administration condemning the vote and preparing additional sanctions. Latin American nations from Argentina to Panama to Brazil have also declared the vote illegitimate. Yet the larger question is whether the domestic opposition can sustain the pressure it has brought to bear on Maduro's administration. Simply put, with more than 100 dead and thousands detained in the demonstrations, some people are just plain tired, and even more are scared. Opposition leaders are facing their own test of public confidence in the wake of Sunday's vote. Today I feel crushed, but not because of the results. Because we knew that the government would cheat, said Victoria Dubois, a 25-year-old who has been protesting since April. I feel depressed because today everything looks normal, as if nothing had happened. The streets are empty and people went to work as if nothing ever happened. I personally expected more forceful actions from opposition leaders. Many credit the opposition with bravely challenging a repressive regime. But at a time when the socialist government is signaling a more radical stage of rule, some Venezuelans express concern that no single opposition leader has managed to emerge as Maduro's obvious challenger. A top contender, opposition leader Leopoldo Lopez, remains under house arrest and sidelined from public activities. In recent days the opposition has seemed disorganized, caught flat-footed by a government announcement banning protests through Tuesday. Where's the leader who has mobilized people in the slums because they believe in him, said Luis Vicente Leon, director of the Caracas-based pollster Data Analysis. People in the slums are scared, but when you have a leader you love, that barrier can be overcome. That leader doesn't exist, and there's internal divisions within the coalition on how to confront this situation now. For the opposition, there appears, as of yet, to be no agreement on which tactic going forward is best. And virtually all options harbor risks. Some dissident voices here are pressing the opposition to accelerate its move to set up what is essentially a parallel government. We won't do anything that is outside the Constitution. We don't have the constitutional powers to name a new president, said Solorzano, the opposition lawmaker. How are we going to combat illegality with more illegality? I understand people's desperation. All of us are doing worse than ever. But we all have to keep going. It's everyone's responsibility, not just leaders. On July 16, the opposition held an informal ballot in which it reported 7.6 million people rejected the creation of the new Constituent Assembly. Following that vote, the opposition announced a move to create its own government of national unity. But the opposition's most substantial move in that direction, the selection of new magistrates to challenge the authority of the current pro-government Supreme Court, has resulted in 3 judges being arrested and several others going into hiding. Some argue a move to install a parallel government could encourage stronger international action that could diplomatically isolate Maduro. Others, however, say that such a move could polarize the nation and trigger a new